Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Alison Bell. I've been involved in swimming teaching for 35 years, from grassroots with ABC Swim School to the international platform for artistic swimming. My new project has been SwimPix, aiming to make communication as effective as possible, especially for those with communication challenges. SwimPix Minis will support many children learning to swim and reduce anxiety. So today we're going to look at how SwimPix Minis can enhance our swimming lessons in the classroom if you're a school teacher, in the pool if you're a swimming teacher, and at home if you are a parent. So we're going to look at some ideas for engaging your learners for swimming lessons at home or the classroom with SwimPix Minis. We're going to look at working together with both parents and swimming teachers. If anybody has any questions, you can contact us on our email, which is office@aswim.uk. So let me tell you about a little bit about SwimPix Minis. Firstly, they're all fully waterproof. They come on a lanyard with a safety brake on them. There is a ring that comes apart that you can take cards off as needed. So minis are useful for working with individual children. They're perfect for parents and carers to bridge the gap between home and school and the pool, using them in all environments to familiarise children with pool activities, which we're going to explore today. We have two different sets of minis for two different schemes. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the Swim England School Swimming and Water Safety Foundation set, and these are mainly for children with SEND. The second set that's available is for the Swim England Learn to Swim programme, and this is mainly used in lessons outside of school. So here is our first set of SwimPix Minis, and these are for the School Swimming and Water Safety Foundation. So these are more suitable for children with SEND. These minis are ideal for pupils that are very anxious and have communication challenges. It has also been illustrated to include equipment such as walkers, hoists and wheelchair users. There are 5 core awards, a water safety awareness pack and a communication set, and so there's 7 in total. To give you an idea about the level of these awards, let me explain a little about the progression and where this fits in. The first award is about the swimming pool and what you will find being around poolside and sitting on the edge, watching and then taking part. It slowly builds throughout the programme, enabling them to swim 3 metres in Award 5. These have been carefully illustrated to support the outcome set in the programme. For water safety awareness, there are cards for discussion such as beach flags, where it's safe to swim, the 4 key water safety messages, and situations that could be dangerous. The SwimPix communication set helps support dialogue and instruction between the teacher and the swimmer and the parent. We also have SwimPix game cards in this pack to support this teaching through games and fun. So let's have a look at our Learn to Swim minis. These are most suitable for Swim England Learn to Swim providers, teachers and parents. We have included the first 4 of the 7 stages in the Swim England Learn to Swim programme. So this pack includes stages 1 to 4 and a communication set, which is useful for those children that have communication challenges. The first 4 stages on the Learn to Swim will take you through to be able to kick 10 metres of all 4 strokes efficiently and be able to swim 10 metres full stroke of a chosen stroke. So let me show you how the SwimPix minis work. So this here is showing you the ring that the SwimPix come on. And it's quite easy to detach the cards. We have a clip here that unclips and you can take the cards off and use them as needed. So let's look at the communication pack. This is in both the foundation minis and also the learn to swim minis. So we all receive information differently. This set has been really helpful to build rapport and communicate a different way, and this can start at home. We have 8 emoji cards helping exchange emotions and feelings. You could use these for how they are feeling about the lesson. So maybe you could use these at home before you go to the pool. One thing I find is sometimes anxiety can build whilst you're in the car going to the swimming lesson. So they could be used in the car to see how their emotions change. It may be that they were worried and then they become excited, or the reverse. And then they could show you or the teacher when they arrive how they're feeling, which really puts everybody on the same page. So we know if they come and they say they're excited, we can kind of go ahead with the lesson fairly straightforward. Perhaps if they're worried, we might need to look at that and see what strategies we can put in place. As you can see from the girl in the picture, there is a breathing card in the set, and this helps to reduce anxiety. The idea of the hand is to focus on the breath as it touches the hand. So breathing out for 6, keeping the air on your hand so that you can see it. So you're breathing out slowly and then breathing in for 3. And then you do this 3 times. And if you do that really well, breathing out slower than you're breathing in, then that will help to reduce the anxiety. So this can be learned at home, and the more familiar they are with this strategy, the easier it is to reduce the anxiety. We have cards like take a break here, and this is really useful for at home. It might be that you're working with the cards and they want to stop for a break. It might be that they're doing their homework, and they might want to stop for a break. So the card can be used in other situations at home as well. This card here is really useful for particularly children that are on the autistic spectrum, and time can be a little bit difficult to understand. So you could use this 5 minutes to go, and that might be 5 minutes before we're leaving for our lesson. So you can start to prepare them that something's going to change. And also that can be used for 5 minutes to the end of the lesson or the start of the lesson. So it can be used in many different ways. So all of these cards can be used at home to support getting ready for the lesson. If they're used at home, they will be familiar, and when they come to the pool, they'll be easier to use, and this will hopefully help reduce anxiety. In this set, there are 23 different cards to work with. So let's talk about different ways you can use the cards at home. So in Foundation Pack, in the first award, there are many cards that can help us prepare for the lesson together. So here is a card that's in the pack, and it's telling us about what we would need to go for our swimming lesson. So this could be an activity of finding their kit and getting ready for the session. Here is another idea. So equipment. Equipment can be a barrier to the lessons. Many pupils do not like the feel of the floats, noodles, or the armbands. One idea we had when I delivered this live was that you can cover the noodles and floats in cotton material, and that might be useful, particularly if children are allergic to them. So again, this is something that could be practiced at home. So ideas that we can do with the cards. So you could give the child the SwimPix card and ask them to find the equipment. So that could be done at home, it could be done at the pool, it could be done in a school gym. They could choose the card to let you know what their favourite piece of equipment is or what they would like to try when they go swimming. They could choose the card to let you know what pieces of equipment they're not keen on or they're not sure about using. Once they've explored the equipment, they could try to hold it, feel it, try it on, etc., and find certain armbands that feel comfortable, for example. This is a really important part of preparing a pupil for the lesson, which can be done at home, in the classroom, or at the pool. So, a question that children often ask themselves and can raise their anxiety quite a lot is, what will it be like when I go swimming? What will it be like at the pool? What would be there? So, these cards are really useful for preparing your pupils for the session at home or the classroom. So, here's an example. So it might be, here's the swimming pool. This is what it might look like. There will be a changing area when we go to the pool. We'll be able to leave our clothes tidy in the changing rooms. There'll be showers at the pool. We'll be able to use the toilet. We'll look at equipment that we might need to get in and out of the pool. We can talk about what the role of the lifeguard is. Quite often, children think that they're going to drown, and that's a big anxiety that they can have. So, you can talk about what the lifeguard does and how he's going to keep them safe. If you use spotters within your lessons, it may be that you discuss what the role of a spotter is. We do have many cards for this, so you can make up your own bespoke um, storyboard, if you like, of what will be at the pool in relation to your own situations and your own pool layout. So, following on from that, another question that children do get concerned about is, what will I be doing on my first lesson? So here I've put these out in a circle just to show a different way of doing this. So you could sit on the floor with them to discover this. So I'll take you through this. This is foundation one again, and you could do this with any of the stages. So you could use the Learn to Swim stage one, pick out some activities that they may do when they go to the pool. So here we've got that when we've got change, we're going to move to the pool side. We've got a card that says deep end and shallow end, so you might be able to point out what part of the pool they're going to actually do their lesson with. They may decide on their first lesson that they're just going to hold a toy, they're going to sit. They might watch what's going on. They may decide to come off of that chair and actually sit on the side and just feel the water or feel the side. They might want to dip their toes in and feel what the water feels like. Here they might look at an adult and just watch what's happening. They may copy what's happening. They may shower some water over their shoulders and hands. And again, you can make this in any shape, any storyboard that you like. You could ask them to pick out the activities that they would like to try. They could maybe put in a pile the ones that they don't want to try or the ones that they're a little bit worried about, which just helps with some communication of what they think they might be comfortable with on their either their first lesson or their following lesson. So here's another idea for you, especially with Easter coming up, and I'm sure there'll be lots of Easter egg hunts. How about a SwimPix hunt included within your Easter eggs? So it might be that they find 3 activities that they love to do on the SwimPix cards. You might want them to find as many as they can, and then they'd tell you which is their favourite activity to do. And this could be passed on to the teachers that are teaching them at the pool, or even as parents. You know that when you take them swimming, you might be able to take that card and practice that activity with them. So let's look at what we can do with water and the cards. So maybe fun time in the bathroom. It could be, as the summer is coming, it could be that they have fun time in the paddling pool. It may be that you fill a bucket of water up and have that in the garden. So there's lots of ways that we can use these cards and get them wet. So they can have a go. So let me show you some ideas that you could do. So first of all, we've got the watering can, so showering hands, shoulder and tummy. So it might be that you pour that water over the hands as well. And if they're in the paddling pool, etc., then they could practice pouring that water over themselves in different parts of their body. So the second one I've got here for you is splashing the water. So again, that's something that can be done as I'm showing you there outside the bath. It can be done in the paddling pool, in a bucket of water, just getting them used to splashing the water. The idea with splashing is to be able to get the water uncomfortable going anywhere over their body. So that's a really good starting point. And the third one, just as an example, is really moving towards an object or pushing an object. So there we can just push objects in water and just see how they move, which eventually will encourage them to move once they're standing in water, if they get used to actually reaching out and pushing a toy. So here's another idea for you, sort of playing some games. So here it might be copy the picture. So you might show them the picture and then if they can, they might be able to go onto the floor. And here we've got if you fall in, float, breathe and relax. So you could even have a talk about when and why we might do that. But you can see that she's practicing really quite a good star float there on the floor. It could be that you could act out a card and someone else could guess what it is. We could practice streamlining. So if we've got a pencil float on the front and the young girl here is stretching out on the floor, practicing that. And quite often, I know when I'm teaching Learn to Swim Stage 2 and they're doing push and glides, it is really trying to get their legs straight and their arms straight and their face in, which can be the challenge. I do come from a synchronized swimming, now called artistic swimming background, and many of the activities that we do in the pool, we do on dry land to make sure we can do them there before we take them into the pool. So it'd be great, particularly with the visual aids of the mini SwimPix. That will enable us to all know what we need to try. These activities could also be done in a gym, in a school. So many ideas. There's lots of different cards, so there's lots of activities that could be chosen to do. So what do we need to do to blend the activities at home to the activities at the pool? Well, for me, it is all in the planning. If we're planning our lessons and we can share that with our pupil and the parent, then we're halfway there. So these are our planners. They're downloadable from our website, and our website address is www.aswim.uk. They're in the shop, so just add them to the cart, and when you go through to the checkout, it will be free. Um, they are in PDF format, so you can type into the boxes here if you so wish. You can print them and write on them as you want to. We've got two types of planners. We've got a weekly planner here, which shows enough of sort of 5 cards that you could put on there, and any evaluation notes that you might want to consider. And we've also got a 6-week planner for a series of lessons. So the key really is simple planning that can be used between the pool and home. To be honest, any planning will work. The key is sharing. So let's look at how we can work together. So quite often swimming lessons are kind of here on the screen where we've got the swimming teacher and the pupil learner, and the teaching kind of happens within our lesson between the two. Now, on this occasion, what I have shown here is the SwimPix. The teacher has the SwimPix minis. If the child has them, or you might decide to loan these out to particular children, these cards can be used, can be given to the teacher for the lesson. So that's one way of building a little bit more communication up between the teacher and the pupil. One of the keys, as I've already said, is that the planning, we need to know what it is for the following week. I'm not suggesting that you send home necessarily the whole plan of what you're going to do. There will be some children that would require that to reduce the anxiety. It may be that some children are struggling with push and gliding. So, as we've seen already, and we've seen over here, we've got a child practicing that streamlining. So it might purely be you send just that home that week. So they've got one thing to think about before they come back to you. So there's a number of options here, but planning here is the key. And then here at home, you may have a parent that can work with a child. It may be that the child works on their own, practicing some of the shapes that they need to make when they come into the pool. They may have them and work on things like breathing techniques to reduce their anxiety. So this often helps. It just gives them a visual aid to work with so everybody is working from the same page. The other thing that's quite useful with these minis is you can clip them into a clipboard. So here we've got a very quick storyboard of the lesson that's going to happen. We've got jumping in, we're going to blow some bubbles, we're going to do some movement on our front, and then we're going to do some rotating from our front to our back. So it could be a real key. Someone came up with a top tip about actually you could set these out and the parent could photograph those just to take them home for that week, maybe as a different way of sort of planning so that they know what cards to pick out from their pack to use. And this way we can all work together, but it really is about the planning. So I hope you've found this short presentation useful and hopefully you've come up with or I've given you some new ideas. So we've looked at engaging learners at home or at school and in the classroom before they go to their swimming lesson. And we've also looked at how working together with both parents and swimming teachers, we can enhance the learning. So as I've said, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Here are our details. So our email address is office@aswim.uk. We do post on Facebook quite regularly and Instagram, so feel free to follow us on there. I'm also on LinkedIn, so you can contact me that way as well. Our web address is at the bottom of this slide here. Our shop is on there, and on the shop is all the information about all our products that we have. Swimming teaching is the best job. Stay passionate about making a difference, and fingers crossed we'll be back to swimming in April. Thank you for listening.